primobolan or masteron for your next cycle. So the issue with TikTok is a single 30-second video really can't tell you which one is going to be appropriate for your cycle. I know you've probably heard that as a wetter compound, primobolan should only be used during bulks, and masteron as a drier compound would be better for a cutting phase. But this generic approach completely negates an individual's response to these compounds and doesn't really dive into compound interaction. There is actually a lot of argument to utilize both at the same time in many cases. Both of these are DHT derivatives, which means they have been modified from DHT to enhance anabolic effects and act with direct binding affinity while reducing the androgenic effects. Most notably, these are not going to aromatize. They simply lack the double bond at carbon 4 in the A ring for aromatase conversion. Therefore, they are not substrates of the aromatase enzyme. You've also probably heard that masteron is also going to drastically increase the rate of lipolysis, but this is not true. We have direct empirical data showing that anavar has a direct impact on lipolysis, but we don't actually have any data on masteron and the use in men in general. Anavar, as an example, and again another DHT derivative, can enhance fat loss through TBG, increasing T3 activity, while masteron, on the other hand, may have indirect lipolysis through AR activation in our adipose tissues. Most men, not all, but most men may experience a SERM or selective estrogen receptor modulator-like effect from the use of masteron without a notable reduction in E2, while others may have a notable reduction in estradiol through the use of primobolan. You cannot infinitely titrate primobolan because you're going to crush your estrogen levels. There's going to be a point where you can no longer leverage it. This would be argument to implement both of these compounds, utilizing primobolan for E2 management and then maybe masteron as a primary driver for anabolism if that's the goal and your total dosages permit. Some men may have a more notable response from masteron. I will say, yes, masteron tends to yield drier results, but unless you're trying to get sub 10 or even sub 8% body fat, the water retention and the differences between masteron and primobolan are probably going to be negligible for most people unless you're getting stage ready. There's no clear primo versus mast and when to implement it. And if somebody's telling you that, they're not taking your individual response into account.